Hello there, everyone. It's going to be just a moment before we get going. I'm waiting on these megascans to finish downloading. So it will be just a minute before we actually get moving along. We've decided to go more Australian outback direction with the desert area, so I'm downloading a bunch of stuff related to that, so we're just waiting to finish. Hello there. Thanks for talking. So we'll do a little bit of work in the redesigned desert area today, and then if we have time, we'll probably also work on a ravine I started working on in the jungle. It just takes a few minutes for these to finish up. Oh, sorry about that. Let me see what's going on. It might be... Oh, I know why. Just a moment. Is that a bit better? I forgot I had a photo scan rendering in the background, and that's pretty heavy on CPU usage, so it was probably causing a bit of lag. Stuff. Yeah, I was doing a photo scan this morning of a giant sequoia seedling that I could use in the Redwood area. So I was rendering that in the background and I completely forgot it was going. Shouldn't be much longer. We do have a planned roster. I don't know how much of that I'm able to reveal, so I'm probably not going to say here, but we do have a full roster. Although I believe they're still adding things here and there to it. I know this is the most exciting part of the stream. I tried to have this finished before I started, but it's been going for a little while now. It's just downloading massive 2 million triangle cliffs. It's a little large, so. I would say so. Rocks are great. They're really though, like when I'm making an environment, rocks are one of those things I always have so much trouble deciding which ones I want to use because they're important. To CJ, a project like this is a lot more demanding than most others I've worked on. So for something like this, it would take quite a bit if you want to do the environment. Mine is a little overkill for the record, but I have a RTX 4080 for my graphics card and 7950X for my CPU. And it just makes it a lot faster to work on a map like this. You don't need that at all to run the game, for the record. It's much, much heavier in the editor. But if you were making a more normal sized map, you don't need anything near that. Yeah! Sometimes I wish I'd gotten a 4090. It was so much more money, and I got the 4080 on sale, so... Maybe for the next go around with the 50 series. I don't know yet if I'm going to buy one, but maybe if I see a good deal, I'll get a 5090. For today, I'm wanting to start on remaking the desert. We're changing the theme of it to a more Australian outback style. And that means I need to add a new landscape layer. And then I'll be replacing some of the assets there with different ones that fit that theme a little bit more. And if I have time after that, I'm going to start back on a ravine I had started working on in the jungle area. Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. 50 series looks pretty good. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to, because my 4080 has been great. There are just every now and then there are situations where I could use a little bit more video memory for development purposes. So the 5090 is a little bit tempting. $5080 laptop, that would be pretty warm, I would think. The 40 series runs pretty cool, so maybe it won't be so bad. Yeah, I've thought about that. You'll be able to get out of the ravine, though, so that's something. And every so often along the side of the ravine I have some rocks that would block you from falling in, but I only just started it the other day, so it's not far enough along yet that it's easy to say how it's going to end up in the end. I know what I'm aiming for with it, but sometimes I change my mind while I'm going. I would imagine this should be done in a moment. I think I've seen nearly enough of them save now that it's all of them. It's just very slow adding megascans. Mainly because we're using virtual textures, so it takes a little while. When you download the megascan, it converts it to virtual textures. And that makes it take a little longer than normal. I was starting to say, though, to CJ, if you wanted to develop a more normal sized map, because this one is 64 square kilometers, so it's pretty massive and unusual in size. If you wanted to do a more normal sized project, you don't need a 4080, 5080, but it is helpful. RAM, you should probably look at 32 gigs minimum. I'm running 64 and I still regularly go past that. The horseshoe crab actually is in the game. I'm still setting the areas where it spawns, but it is here. I have to keep working on convincing our programmers to give me a flying horseshoe crab. That's just a me thing. See, I want everyone to know when I've joined the session and they see a flying horseshoe crab, you know it's me. I would say I would make one myself, but that's really not my area of expertise, so I'm not sure how well I'd pull that off. Again, apologies for all the waiting. This was supposed to be done before the stream started, but it's been going on for a little while and went past the time. I promise I'll make up for it. I do need to make some trees, though, that fit the Outback kind of look. But I might have something that'll work as a placeholder for right now. Yeah, I've been looking up pictures of the Outback just to see what kinds of trees are there and stuff like that. Definitely have some cool ideas. I know we have some trees that are from the Outback in the project, but I don't know if their quality is going to stand up to the other foliage, so I might end up making them myself. We'll see. In the background while this is going, I'm gonna see what kind of trees we should be looking at. Okay, so it looks like something like this. Easy enough. And I actually have some photo scans I'll bring into the game that are ones I did recently that'll fit this area. Luckily, since we're using nanite, makes it a little bit easier to use assets like that without the extra performance penalty. I'm glad you think so. I know we all put a ton of work into it, and as soon as I saw it, I definitely wanted to be a part of it. I've wanted a wider selection of dinosaur games for a while. I know there are a few of them out there that have gotten pretty popular. And I also really wanted it to be focused on being optimized. So I'm definitely spending a lot of time doing that. And I know I'm not alone there in wanting that. Yeah, pretty much. And I think it's because a lot of these games like The Isle and Ark are really big in scope, so they take a really long time to make, and people who are talented enough to make it. So I can see why it takes so long. And this one, even after release, we won't be done for a long time. Not because we're releasing it in an unfinished state, but because the world will change with events in the game, so... Oh yes, I 100% agree, the effort is worth it. This has been the most fun I've had working on any project, because there's just so much to do here in so many different areas. So every single idea that I have or that I hear and I like it, we can fit it somewhere on the map because it's so huge and diverse. I see your username. Do you also develop games? Ah, makes sense. That sounds like it would be fun, though. I agree, you should go for it. Definitely a long time ago when I started, I didn't see myself doing this. You never know where you could end up. Oh yes. And it's true that starting development, you would be playing fewer games because you'd be spending so long developing games. I have a little backlog right now of games I bought or plan to buy that I haven't gotten to play yet. I have so many ideas for this game throughout the day that I come back and I work on them for hours, and before I know it, it's 3 in the morning and I need to work at 6, so yeah. Micro Clifton. I think I get what you're saying. And that could fit this area. I feel like I'm gonna have to end up doing some sort of water simulation to make up for the wait for these assets to download. As a thank you for sticking around. Yeah, definitely. If you have some time before you have more obligations, you should definitely make use of it. Not necessarily for this, just anything you think you might like getting into. With some work, you would be surprised at what you can accomplish. There are 37 rocks. Or more like 34, because there are also a few branches. It just takes forever because, for one, they're big assets, and two, it's converting them all to virtual textures as they're added, so that takes a moment. Luckily, models like this don't add on to the total game size by very much. They're heavily compressed with nanites, so they're usually 10 megabytes or so. That I don't know, but since I see Islanders here, he might have an answer for that. Ah, okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That's something we could do. Good to know, because I also like taking tons of screenshots and videos, things like that, as Islander knows, because I have hundreds of screenshots of working on this game. That's why we have a different thumbnail every week for the streams. Maybe he also should have a flying horseshoe crab for the game. But the thing with him, you can't trust to keep using it, so I think we need to force it. Anytime it's him connected, he has to be the flying horseshoe crab. I agree. So I was actually really happy to hear that we're gonna have that. That's another one for somebody else on the team. For me, it's just environment work and optimization. But I like the idea of it. I'm Airsick Lowlander. I'm the map creator. The sad thing? Ah, there, finally. It's done. Yeah, see, in total, after all the textures and stuff, that's 193 files, so it takes a little while. Luckily, saving doesn't take nearly as long. Finally. I was gonna say though, the sad thing is that the plugin I'm using to download those megascans is normally no longer usable unless you are just downloading ones you've already claimed. But I claimed them all before that, so I can still use it. Normally you'd have to download a much bigger pack of them and just use the ones you want out of it, and that is a huge pain. I know it looks like this is going to take a long time, but it won't. You know, I say that too, but yet with 8.5 terabytes of space, I still could use more space. Not just for this game, of course, but I'm guessing you also have a lot. But this kind of situation is why at first I was surprised anybody would want to watch. Oh my god, 200 terabytes. That's amazing. I wasn't expecting that. But initially I was surprised anybody wanted to watch environment design, because you have lots of times like this where I'm waiting on big files. And that's just part of it, unfortunately. That's insane, though. How did you end up with 200 terabytes? That's like workstation level. That's amazing. Now I have new goals. 200 terabytes. Thank you. Yeah, once I tried ultrawide, I couldn't go back. It's great for games and for developing. I actually have a second one above this too. It's just, that's what I watch the stream chat on. I use my better one as my main monitor, and the cheaper one as my background. Not rich or anything, but it took a while to build up to this. But I would definitely recommend it if you have the power to push it for gaming. And there's always the 2560 by 1080 ones. Those are much easier to push in a game. Well, as you see, you didn't miss a whole lot, so... The unfortunate reality of being an environment designer. The crazy part is I have this project on an NVMe drive, so imagine how much longer it would take on a slower drive. I have a small zoo in my house, though, so I get it. I have 2 dogs, a rabbit, python, and a turtle. And now I'm starting a little bonsai tree collection. I'm growing a giant sequoia right now, and I'll add more to it soon. Yeah. I wouldn't mind building one of those. This is actually my first time trying to grow a bonsai tree, so I don't know how well it's going to work out. But so far it's been good. The sequoia is still alive and seems to be healthy. Luckily, I shouldn't be needing a huge amount of assets like this again anytime soon. The sad thing is how long ago I started this. Tried to be ready before the stream. This is exactly why I went overkill on my PC for development. Are they doing a live spacewalk? If so, I also want to watch that. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna check it out later. I would do just about anything to be able to go to space. But something tells me unless I get filthy rich somehow, that's not gonna happen. And also for anybody who's watching, feel free to send me ideas for anything you see. What is your question? I might have answers. If it's for the dinos, I probably don't have an answer, but I can try. Or if there are other people on the team watching right now, they might also be able to answer. Also, I never explained. I apologize, everyone, for missing the stream last week. I'm sick right now, and still recovering from it, but I didn't have my voice last week, so it wouldn't have been the best stream. Yes. Thank you, appreciate that. So if my voice sounds weird at any point, that would be why. But this is the ravine I just started a couple days ago. That I'm not sure of. So we're gonna go to the desert. Round about here. That's a pretty huge section of land I just loaded, so hopefully it'll load. Thank you. And I'm always making changes, so we'll have it looking even better before you know it. Right. Needed to go a little bit further, I see. Here we go. So first thing we're going to do is add the new landscape layer so we can make the ground look more like a outback look. I agree. I also love landscaping. Uh, so temporarily I'm going to leave it looking a little weird because there's some texture work I need to do outside of Unreal to make it perfect. But it'll be good enough for concept purposes right now. Yes. I think I will be putting one here too. So let's... by this. Try this one out first. It's 2:48 a.m. Good God. Yes, there will be. Cactuses, things like that. Now, we should have a new landscape layer. Thanks for dropping in. And this part will just take a moment. It's adding the new landscape layer and saving it to the current landscape. Well, let's see how it looks. Either going to be this or a sandier look. I downloaded 2 of them, so we're going to compare them real quick. Let's see how this one looks. Yeah, I think I like this more. We'll stick with this for now. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It looked a little weird for covering an entire section of landscape. This one's a bit more normal. I think I'm going to load a bit more of the landscape too. My rabbit just came to visit me. See, this is why working with a map of this size, you need quite a bit of power, but for a more normal project, it's not nearly so demanding. So I'm thinking we'll add... Hello there. Thanks for dropping in. I'm thinking we'll add some cliffs throughout this area. Some grass, although I'm probably going to have to replace the grass later and just use a placeholder for now. Let's see. I apologize if you hear my dogs barking in the background. They get a little excitable. Over what? I couldn't tell you. The joys of having a large, high-detail landscape. And we'll go through and add some variation here and there, but for now, just as a base, we'll use this. Compiling shaders, my favorite thing. Gonna bump up this camera speed a little bit. I apologize if I'm a bit quieter today. My throat still hurts, so every now and then I'll be a little quiet. There's something so peaceful about painting the landscape. And it's great because I was never actually a good painter. So this is my art. I'm glad. It's really soothing to listen to. At the moment, I'm not wearing my headphones. Thank you, I appreciate it. I'm sure it won't be long. It's definitely taken longer than I thought it would, though. I don't know what I have. I was just upset I missed the stream last week. I wanted to, but you would have just heard weird noises instead of words. Which, I mean, I guess this is a dinosaur game, so I can't have sounded much worse than a dinosaur. I know it's hard to tell on the stream because the view from the editor kind of throws off scale, but this is actually a massive section of land, probably a couple kilometers in radius. See, here's what I need to do. I'll start a GoFundMe for a 5090 so I can develop even faster. It'll totally work, and it'll be great. I feel like that would impact my electric bill. After I paint it all, we can rebuild virtual textures and then it won't look so weird like this. I'm excited to see what it looks like with all the cliffs in place. Looks like we're nearly done painting. Gotta love when it compiles shaders while you're flying around, and then you'll get like 5 FPS. It's great. Although it's probably not as jarring on the stream. I have the stream limited to 30 FPS, so we don't slow down the development process too much. I'll come back for little touch-ups later, but we waited long enough with the saving the assets, so that will be for when I'm working by myself. Yes. And I'll add more than this too. That's part of why I was happy about us changing the direction of the desert, because it fits a lot more to have streams, things like that, in an outback kind of setting. And I wasn't a huge fan of like Sahara Desert kind of look. But this, we can do a lot more interesting stuff. Yes, that is true. Because in the other kind of desert, it's there's just not as much that's going to be out there, so it's harder to hide in places like that. Yeah, that's how I feel too. I'm never a huge fan of desert areas because of that. But this can be good. There's a lot more we can do with this kind of setting. More variety and places to hide. Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll still add normal desert areas as well. I just wasn't a fan of a whole biome for it, because this is a huge section of map. And we're not going to go all the way over there. Yes, I agree. I can think of some that I've seen already right now, actually, that would fit in this area. There will probably be huge rocks, but I always go back later on and make it easier to pass through them. For me, making large landscapes that can have really dense forests, that kind of thing, while still performing well. That's my big thing. I'm a really big fan of nanite and lumen, so I've learned to work with it really well. Okay, this will do for now for concept purposes. However, we don't need palm trees now. So let me see if we have some trees that would fit this area a little bit more. I fully agree. I like to have really thick forests that feel realistic. I'll still have to tone it down in some spots because it's a little too much for gameplay purposes, but yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I always try and make the cliffs and such that I add reasonable. Maybe just seeing if I have anything that fits this area right now or if I need to wait on the trees. Maybe these. I don't know. I think I might wait on the trees because these don't fit extremely well. Definitely not. Maybe ash. Because of you saying that, there is a chance that I'm going to just purposely troll you and make an area just like that. Just one. You'll find it eventually. Perhaps some of these dead trees. Eh, I'll just make some. Not a huge fan. So let's add some cliff sides. Actually, let's start right here for it. Do it. I'll be waiting. Yeah, I agree. And right now there are some areas that could use improvement like that, but you can believe I will be improving them. drop a few of these out here just so I can see them. I'm glad to hear it. I'm loving working on it, and I want us to be able to do what the community likes. So, we will always listen. You can count on that. And we have a very big focus on optimization, so I think everyone will be pleasantly surprised there too. That being said, we'll still use some of the newest features, so it will be graphically demanding if you want it to be, but it will also run well for what it is. You and me both. It's a very good game. This will just take a moment. I just want to get everything set out so I can see it all. And not with 8K textures. Because that is a bit more than I need. Yes, that's why I'm glad we have a full team, so we don't have to compromise one way or the other with graphics or gameplay, because gameplay aspects aren't handled by me, but graphics are for the most part. So I can focus on those things while others focus on the gameplay aspects. So we're not going to place all of these out here that I downloaded, but enough of them that we can make it look good. I think this will be the last one for now. Okay, I think we'll start with this. Yes, it is Unreal 5. I know that strikes fear in the hearts of some people, but I'm very focused on optimization, so fear not. I shall take care of you. It'll take just a moment to get this looking right. I'd like to experiment with the layout a little bit. Oh yeah, that was a very early build, so I've changed a lot of that. And of course, as we get feedback, I'll be changing even more. I think this one probably isn't going to fit this area for right now. Skyrock. Yes. I accept it. But also, I think the newer updates to Unreal 5.4 and up, you'll also start seeing more games coming out that perform better because they've made some big advancements that have been needed for a while. And most of the Unreal games out there right now aren't on the newer version. It takes quite a while to make a game, so usually they're on an older version. Not their fault, that's just what was available at the time. Well, luckily this shouldn't be too demanding on your internet. Actually, not very much at all from what I've seen so far. See, this though is one of the main reasons I love Nanite, that I can use a variety of assets together without it drastically affecting performance. You take most of your performance hit up front with Nanite, so once that's enabled, it scales really well, so we can put thousands upon thousands of rocks, and it's going to stay pretty steady. That's what I was looking for. there's something so satisfying about making a huge cliff. A little time consuming, sure, but satisfying. Yeah, I think he visits me in my sleep. It's okay, Islander. I'm cool with it. It's like, cover me with a blanket or something. It's the polite thing to do. Hey, there he is. Called it. Oh, thank you. The cold side is always better. I tried getting one of those cooling pillows. It didn't work nearly as well as I thought it would. I was really disappointed. I still plan to have a waterfall coming off of this mountain here, and now it's going to look even more awesome when it's going down these rocks. That, I have some ideas, but I'm still working on exactly what I want to do for the flyers. I'm sure Islander has a lot of suggestions for me because he's already done a little bit of work himself for the flyers. He actually helped out with the village area. Well, the first one, anyways. We haven't set up a second. Actually, that's not entirely true, but we haven't done much with the second one yet. You and me both. I just love making things in this game. It's so fun to work on. I guess he really is the PR guy, though, so it makes sense. Thank you. And I promise it will run better than you think it will. And already does. I'm gonna leave that area untouched for now. I have other plans for that. I'm actually very excited to do this area because I've made desert scenes before, but not a ton of them. Oh yeah, I agree. I think this and the jungle are going to be places I focus the most on caves. The only reason I don't normally make them on stream is because they're extremely time consuming to make if I want them to match the quality of the rest of the map, that is. So probably most of the stream would be spent watching me make a cave. I feel like my compulsion to hit the save button is like hitting reload in a shooter game. You never know when something's gonna crash and I would be so sad. Not the whole thing, but the front side of it. I actually want there to be a way to get up there, so it's going to be a little bit different on the other side. But also, once I cover more of it, I can copy more rocks at once. So that speeds it up. I'm just kind of getting a general layout for it at the moment. So now we can copy more pieces at once. You just kind of shift it around a little so it doesn't look so repetitive. Sure, there are no others hanging out. Ah, yeah. There we are. I see you. We can also go a little bit bigger on the rocks when they're up here because it'll be less noticeable that the detail won't be quite as high. The map is 64 square kilometers. It's about almost twice the size of Skyrim. Sorry, just a moment. Just need to answer an important phone call. Okay, sorry about that. I agree. I love the result of caves, it's just making them that's so incredibly time consuming, so I don't do it extremely often, but there will be a lot of them. I just pace myself making them. I don't think so. I feel when I'm walking around the map that while it is big, it has a clear sense of direction. So I feel it won't be too difficult for people to find each other. And we'll have plenty of landmarks to reference, things like that, that will be memorable enough to make it easier to memorize the map. I don't remember what size the isle is. But I recall you telling me that, and then the map being a lot bigger than I thought it was. Pineapple Rock. I like it. Although I'm not sure I have any rocks that look like pineapples. Yet. Maybe I can get away with using one of these up here. Just have to be able to hide the base of it. And there lies the problem. A shame. I guess technically this is a large impassable rock. But it would have been impassable anyways. Is that open at the bottom? No. Excellent. That's what I was hoping. That makes sense. It's just with a game with as many options for what you want to do as this, it works out better for us to have a large map. You know, I have seen the Dryos in some crazy places, so I don't doubt it. I saw a few of them in a tree the other day. Of course, that's not intended behavior, but still. Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. This could end up being a really good spot for a nesting site. I'm almost done with it. I'm going to remove these palm trees because they're not going to fit this area anymore. I'll have replacements very soon. Use one of these. I would say for now this is good enough. I'll fill it in more later and make it look a little nicer. But I think I'm going to have a waterfall coming down that. For now, just a desert biome. Although it may be getting a different name since we kind of changed the theme. Gonna open up my liquid death here. They're actually really good. Now for up here. Gotta think about what material would look good. See what this looks like. Yes. That's a good idea. I think for now we'll just put the Oasis material up here. For now. Let's see. Just trying out a couple first. Ah, actually, that will do pretty well. Okay, yeah, that'll do it. Actually, I haven't used this material a whole lot yet. So we're going to change that. Put a little over here. And pretty soon I'll have to go so I can go get some lunch. But I think we'll do a bit more before that. Too addicted to the grind. Nice. That blends pretty well. What I think we're going to end up doing is we'll have a waterfall coming off of here. We'll probably do that on the next stream. And we'll have a stream that goes from here out to the ocean, which is over yonder. I knew I would miss little patches here and there. Oh, like that very large one there. the last thing we'll do is I was going to paint the landscape for the rest of the Redwoods, because we're near where it ends, but I haven't actually gone and painted that area yet. And I don't think I've ever shown it on stream either, so that will be a first. So I think we've looked at the desert enough for now. There are some changes I'll need to make, so I'll have to come back and work on this a bit before continuing on it. So let's go look, whoops, at the Redwoods area. Be right about here. I've been trying to get at least a basic layout for each biome, so I can start planning the bigger rivers, things like that, more in advance. So even if we don't do a whole lot with it just yet, I want to at least have something there so we can visualize it a little better. Now the favorite part, saving landscape meshes. Before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and set these to spatially loaded. I see some already unloaded themselves, but I have to make sure they all do it. Head over towards the Redwoods, the area I haven't actually done yet. Looks like it just has snow on it right now. Or it hasn't loaded yet, we'll see. Yeah. No, we're on a schedule that I stream every Thursday. That's my first day off work of the week. So I just do this a while before doing my schoolwork. After we paint this section of landscape, I'll wrap it up for today, because I need to get some lunch pretty soon. And you know what? I actually think I need to set up this part of the landscape. Let me see. Ah, yes, that is what it is. Okay, so yeah, I have it painted with the jungle material right now. So we're just going to switch that over to Redwoods, and then we'll be good to go. Let me take a look at this. I'm not a huge fan of that material. Send him the link. actually just recently changed the snow material here, so don't think I'm satisfied with it yet, but it's better. Oh, it is crunchy. Gonna mix in some moss and stuff later on as well. Just haven't decided on a good material for the Redwoods moss. Probably cut it off right over here. It moves along pretty quickly, but I get what you mean. It's definitely the most active team I've been on. Nope, not coming to work. Now I'm just going to make sure we got all of this, and then I'll wrap it up after that, because I am hungry. Yeah, it looks like we got it all. Well, since all you're going to see now is just a saving screen, we'll go ahead and stop it here. Thank you everyone for dropping in. We'll be back next week on Thursday. Probably around the same time, maybe a little earlier.